Roger here. And look, the rent reporting offer you built into your tenant's lease cycle last year, it's due again. And here's what's on my mind about it right now. Most owners who went first on this, they set it up once and then, they let it live. But the idea is that it's annual. You have to re-offer it. And at the same time, this is the part where nobody really is talking about, directly at least, and I'm watching it happen. The multifamily debt picture just got tighter. And I want to walk you through both of those things because one feeds into the other, and that changes what you should be doing in your buildings in the next 90 days. So let's just walk backwards for a second. If you own 16 units or more in California, and you're not reoffering your tenants a way to opt in to positive rent reporting every single year, you're leaving compliance work on the table for the next cycle. And if the economy shifts on you and the debt refi window closes, you want your ops running tight and your rent history clean. These are not separate problems. These are the same problems with two faces. Here's the actual move. AB 2747 says that the properties with 16 or more units, you have to offer tenants a way to share positive rent payment data with like the credit bureaus. Positive means that you report on time or early payments. You can't report late payments. You can't report partial payments or excuses. It's clean data. You cap the fee at $10 a month, and that's what tenant pays when they opt in. And a tenant can opt out whenever they want, so it's actually a pretty clean offer from the tenant side, and lots of tenants actually want it because it helps their own credit score without any downsides. But what makes owners miss this is the annual part. You can't just offer it once and sit back forever. Every 12 months, you have to re-offer the existing tenants, and the window for that first cohort of owners that opened last year, that window is rolling around again pretty soon. I'll tell you rather, where the first person to do this tends to slip up. They get an initial offer right, tenants opt in, they're collecting data through the vendors like Rent Bureau or Level Up. And somewhere around month 8 or 9 that last year, they just forgot. Or they confuse what they're supposed to be offering the second time because AB 2747 layers over AB 1482, which is the baseline tenant rights law. And it's easy to mix those two up, or they offer it, but they can't track who actually opted into it from the last cycle in the way that it syncs to their properties management system. So they end up just duplicating offers, going through the same tenant, and the vendor is confused about who to report on, and then they're just doing reconciliation work that shouldn't exist. So here's the step that you can actually run. 1, pull your property list and tag which ones cross 16 units or already there. For each building, find the month that you first opted in, rent reporting program, and if you haven't done so yet, just mark this as month 0. 2, between now and 30 days before the anniversary you draft a written one, it needs to include the name of your reporting partner and the opt-in instructions and a $10 fee and how it was charged, and the fact that they can opt in or opt out at any time. You can use a template from your attorney or pull the exact language from the bill text, but the idea is it needs to be clear and dated so that you have proof that you offered it. 3, you deliver it to existing tenants. That can be emailed, certified by mail, or in person, but you want to record the delivery. 4, you track the intake of your PM system and flag which tenants and enroll what enrolled so that next year you're not offering someone you already did last time. And here's the part that most owners get wrong in the step, on step 2 at least. A lot of people think that the offer means that you have to sell them on it. You have to convince them it's good for their credit. No, you're offering it. They take it or they don't. Neutrality is your best friend here. So you're not explaining why it is good for them or making it sound like a mandatory entanglement with rent itself. It's just a separate program. Offer it as a separate program. Don't confuse AB 2747 with 1482, rent transparency stuff, because those are 2 different offers, and I want to keep them clean. One is about rent data, going to credit bureaus, and the other one is about rent ledger, going to the tenants. But here's what's sitting underneath all of this and why you want to pay attention to it right now. I'm going to slow down for a second. If you get this wrong, the exposure is a complaint to the Department of Consumer Affairs, a complaint rather, a tenant dispute, maybe a cease and desist letter. and that moves fast. And I have no dog in the race of your choice, but I'm watching the multifamily debt right now, and it's gotten narrow. CMBC delinquencies rates on that multifamily loans hit 7.71% in April. That's the highest number we've seen since 2015. There's roughly $146 billion of multifamily debt maturing in 2026. And a huge chunk of that is clustered in the fourth quarter. Refi windows are closing. If you own 20 to 100 units and you're carrying out debt that's anywhere near maturity, you're feeling this right now. Talk to your attorney in the legal piece to get legal piece. But what I find super important is this. If a refi conversation happens in the next 12 months and you're digging through old tenant disputes, old compliance questions, late refiling amendments rather, because you missed the annual refi clock, that's a distraction your lender is going to want to see solved. On a property with thin margins, a 30-day refi delay because of compliance cleanup it's real money. These are not losses, these are lessons. But the idea is, if you can clear the clock on the AB 2747 refi right now, you're gonna walk into debt conversations with cleanup. Your rent data is clean, your tenant records are clean, your PM system is current. The way I run this cohort right now is I actually calendar it the same month every year. I call it the rent data refresh window, and I just send a clean letter to existing tenants and I update the opt-in list in my PM system. And I move on. Takes me about 2 hours across all my properties that I help, or at least my clients' properties that I help them with the management paperwork and docs. And what it does for me is when I'm sitting down with an underwriter or debt person and they ask that my client, what's your rent collection process? What tenant data do you have? How current is all your guys' compliances? They can show them right away that they're thinking about it, that they're on it, and that they're current. That changes the tone of the conversation totally. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. Is this the part you want to learn on trial or error on your own building? Is this refi conversation something you want to have next year, the right place to be scrambling with missed compliance deadlines? Or do you want to have it handled cleanly before any shifts? If you want to walk through this rather, through the calendar, the re-offer template and what your property management system should track and what your building actually looks like from a debt perspective right now, book a 30-minute no pressure underwriting read with me, and I'll show you what the building clears today and what a refi would look like coming up if it came up. The link's in the description, or if you want to just run the re-offer yourself and you want the checklist on AB 2747 mechanics, I'll have one in the description too. And I'm curious on what your refi cycle looks like right now. Just let me know in the comments. Are you on an annual calendar, or is this your first time you're thinking about it? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.